Hey, this is Paige. It's August 6th. It's about 10:30 at night. I've been to my Monday night meeting, and I have some word from the firm today. I actually had to instigate the conversation. I had had no feedback from the firm since they sent the matter on to the home office about 6 weeks ago. Nothing. The named partners in Denver had been back for 2 full weeks, and nothing. So I talked with my therapist, and she had pointed out to me that the delay in responding to me, the delay in planning for the transition, really constituted an interruption in my treatment. And it was actually causing me a great deal of physical discomfort and also emotional discomfort, much more emotional discomfort than physical, but there was physical discomfort. So this morning it's been over 2 months since I first raised the issue with the firm. So I went into the managing partner who had been designated my point of contact, and I gave her a letter after I talked to her. And basically, the letter just repeated what I said. And basically, that's what I said, is it's been 2 months. I need to have some kind of response. And she, I think, was taken back. She said that the firm understood that the deadline or my goal for doing this was well out, many months away, 3 or 4 months away. And I said, no, that's not true. That's not my goal. But I understand how they could have gotten that impression from our discussions before. But that's not my goal. And it's also not what I need now. I need to transition now. It's very painful for me to get dressed in the mornings to go to work. And, I'm uncomfortable at work dressed as a man, acting like a man, because I'm not a man, and I'm really not a man anymore with my estrogen. And so it was, by 2 o'clock, the sports bra, I would have had it on by 2 o'clock, I would have had it on for about 7 hours. And it's always uncomfortable. It's never really comfortable. But by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it actually started to hurt. And, when I would come home from work, I would walk in the door and start taking my clothes off, just because I had to get out of that sports bra. And I had to get out of those boy things, male things. I just wasn't comfortable in them anymore. So I explained all that to her, and I said that, what I gave her, the language that my therapist had told me. It was in the letter, and I think she was a little defensive, but I think it was because they truly didn't understand the situation. So she said, well, when do you want to transition then? And I said, knowing that they probably haven't gotten far at all in planning, or they're probably still thinking about things. I said the end of September, so it was 7 weeks away. So I think in 7 weeks I will be full-time. In 7 weeks I'll be living as a woman. I will be getting my female driver's license and changing the Social Security, and also getting a female passport. And we'll have to see how things work out in terms of the other things that are going on in my life, so I can make a decision on surgeries, and also see what happens with my breasts for the next few months, because they've been developing rather nicely. and maybe that I won't want implants. And of course that'll affect the cost of the surgery. But the last 3 weeks since I made my last video, actually the last 5 weeks, have been very, very difficult for me. Very difficult. And I actually had I want to say, spiritual crisis over this issue about what's going to happen to me in the future. Am I going to be able to get to transition with the job? Am I going to be able to keep my job and afford to have surgery, or am I not? And it was just driving me crazy. It really was. It was interfering with my work. I was really, some days I could barely bring myself to get anything done because I was so fearful. And so the spiritual crisis, pretty much resolved itself 2 weeks ago tonight. I was at my meeting, and a nice man who's very spiritual and who I really admire, he's really nice, sat down beside me at my Monday night meeting before the meeting, and he asked me how it was going, and I don't remember what I told him, but he got the clear impression that it wasn't going well, and I know that my voice and my emotions were right here, just simmering and boiling maybe below. He could tell. And I didn't know it at the time, but he told me later after the meeting that he too was in fear about his job because there would be a reorganization or a merger or something. And people were being laid off. And anyway, after the meeting, 2 weeks ago tonight, he asked if I wanted to go pray in the chapel with him. And that has rarely happened to me in my 20-some years in the program. It's nobody's asked me at a meeting to go right then and pray with them. And I did, and I said, of course I would. And we went into the sanctuary, and he said this beautiful prayer. And in the words of his prayer, I realized he asked God to give us something which I hadn't been asking God to give me, which was faith, more faith, and somehow I got more faith during that prayer, and I've been able to work pretty well the last couple of weeks. It's been difficult, but I've been not locked up in fear. So I had a nice conversation with him tonight, and he's still struggling with his situation a little bit. So we went into the sanctuary again and held our 4 hands together, and we both prayed aloud for the other and for ourselves, and it was nice. Trying to think what else has gone on in those weeks. I've been focusing on the programs because that's what I needed. But I've had some other experiences, spiritual experiences. My friend Kathleen had this beautiful dog named Tucker for about 15 years, and she had to put Tucker down tonight because of his, Tucker had cancer, and he's been suffering the last 2 weeks, not in pain, but with weakness. He's such a wonderful dog. Everybody who knows Tucker thought he was just about the best dog they'd ever met. And so he passed, but I spent a lot of time this weekend at Kathleen's with Tucker. We had a meeting there yesterday, and Tucker came in and sort of dragged himself in and laid down at Kathleen's feet, and there were quite a few tears shed, and I felt privileged to be allowed to share this important moment in Kathleen's life, and that's what we do for each other in the fellowship. We share our moments and make sure that nobody has to go through them alone, And I'm so very grateful that not only am I alive, and not only have I been shown a way of life that works for me, and but that I have so many wonderful friends, and the women in the fellowship are amazing, amazing. My friend Danielle's doing okay. I saw her last week, and things are progressing. We'll just have to see how this transition works out. I told her that I expected to have some input into the transition for me at this office, and she said that could be done. So I'm going to wait a month and see if I get contacted by the HR people to talk about that. I imagine I will. I think the last letter I sent will get their attention, and I hope it just doesn't bring any retribution. But I did what I had to do, and I'm grateful I have everybody in my life to advise me and support me. I'm a very lucky girl. So I hope this finds everybody happy. We're in the last month of the summer, so for those of you who can't shave their legs in the summer and things of that nature, that's coming to an end in 4 more weeks, and with the cooler weather it's a little easier to be wearing the long hair and makeup and all of that. So I hope you are getting out, or if not, that you're finding ways to express your femininity, and that you're staying pretty. Okay. Love you all. Bye-bye.